Welcome back to the 5-7 podcast. I'm your host, Mike Cree, and today I've got two stories for you. I've got the all-female spacewalk that happened this week and a road rage incident. And the reason I want to get into the road rage incident is because it's a perfect example of what not to do. And then I've got my tech tip at the end. So I will start off with the all-female spacewalk. And the first article is by Ashley Strickland, and the second article is by Alan Kim. NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Christina Koch are conducting the first all-female spacewalk outside of the International Space Station. The spacewalk officially began at 7:38 a.m. Eastern and will last for about 5 or 6 hours. The spacewalk officially began when the batteries in their spacesuits activated. Then they exited the airlock. In order to tell the astronauts apart, Koch's helmet camera views will bear the number 18 and Meir's will be number 11. Koch's spacesuit also has red stripes on it. This will be the fourth spacewalk for Koch and the first for Meir. Based on their position on the platform, the astronauts will be able to see the Earth pass beneath their feet. Upon watching the spacewalk begin, NASA astronaut Tracy Dyson said she hopes this is the first all-female spacewalk and that it becomes a normal occurrence. The first woman to conduct a spacewalk was Russian cosmonaut Svetlana Savitskaya in 1984, followed closely by NASA astronaut Kathy Sullivan. An additional 12 U.S. women have conducted 40 spacewalks over the past 35 years. Koch and Meir will be 13th and 14th respectively. Koch and Meir spoke about women working in human spaceflight during a recent news conference. I think it's important because of the historical nature of what we're doing and that in the past, women haven't always been at the table, Koch said. It's wonderful to be contributing to human spaceflight at a time when the contributions are being accepted, even when everyone has a role, and that can lead in turn to increased chance for success. There are a lot of people that derive motivation from inspiring stories from people that look like them, and I think it's an important aspect of the story to tell, Koch said. What we're doing now shows all the work that went in for the decades prior, all of the women that worked to get us where we are today, Meir added. I think the nice thing for us is that we don't even really think about it on a daily basis. It's just normal. We're part of the team. We're doing this work as an efficient team working together with everybody else, so it's really nice to see how far that we've come. Koch and Meir will be replacing a faulty battery charge/discharge unit that failed to activate after a spacewalk on October 11th. According to the agency, because the unit is faltering, it's keeping newly installed batteries from providing an increase in power to the station. The space station is powered by solar arrays and 4 sets of batteries. Luckily, the faulty unit hasn't changed anything for the astronauts or experiments on board. The unit regulates the charge in the batteries from the solar arrays as the station orbits at night around the Earth. Once the unit is replaced, postponed spacewalks to replace the batteries can be rescheduled. Although floating in space looks easy, astronauts say spacewalks are one of the most physically challenging things they can do, according to NASA. Koch arrived on the International Space Station on March 14th for her first spaceflight mission. She is set to remain on the station until February 2020, which will make her time on the station the longest single spaceflight by a woman. Koch's mission will surpass that of Peggy Whitson, who spent 288 consecutive days in space and ended up just shy of the longest single spaceflight by a NASA astronaut, 340 days set by Scott Kelly. Ironically, Scott Kelly also has a twin brother, that's also an astronaut. She and Koch have trained together for the past 6 years because they're members of the same astronaut class. Meir is set to spend more than 6 months on board the station. Upcoming spacewalks will help replace solar array batteries and upgrade them to lithium-ion batteries, as well as refurbish the alpha magnetic spectrometer, a scientific instrument that explores the fundamental nature of the universe, according to NASA. It's pretty cool, that nowadays that when there's spacewalks and, they're doing stuff in space that, they can tweet about it and that information kind of gets out there, that you can see kind of what's going on, what it's like in the space station and giving people, the access to it. And I think that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool that they've got more women that are, or they're allowing more women to go to space. I think that, there have been women that have been going to space for a long time, but it seems that maybe having predominantly women up there hasn't been the norm. So hats off to them. I think it's really awesome, really cool to see these women going up there and doing this. As I've always believed, as a species, as humans, if we could just come together and instead of continuing to war with each other, maybe put our resources together and come up with some kind of technology where we can explore the cosmos even more. And I think that would be really cool. So, just an idea that I've had, but that'll probably never happen until we can all kind of get along. Now I'm going to move on to this story about this story about this guy who got shot. He was with his kid, and it's a road rage incident. And road rage, these incidents never pay off. This story is by Alan Kim, and these two brothers have been charged with what police are calling a road rage incident that saw a father shot as his 4 children watched from just feet away, police said. Scott Thomas, 46, was shot in South St. Louis on Monday while his 4 children sat inside his car, according to a police report. His 4 children ranged in age from 3 to 11. They were unhurt. Thomas had pulled over to get the license plate of another vehicle when both the driver and passenger pulled out guns and pointed them at Thomas, according to police. It's unclear what caused Thomas to pull over, but a probable cause statement says the suspects and victim were involved in a road rage incident. Police say that Thomas was shot 3 times and taken to a local hospital for treatment. Shortly after the shooting, police pulled over a Mitsubishi GTS that was driving on the shoulder in order to pass traffic. Two suspects in the vehicle were arrested without incident. Nicholas Marino, 27, was charged with first-degree assault and armed criminal action. His bond was set at $75,000. His brother, Joseph Marino, 24, was charged with unlawful use of a weapon. He is being held on $20,000 bond. Now, the point that I want to make here is that road rage incidents happen all the time. And if you are on the road and you're driving, you have no idea what the person in front of you, what kind of day they've had, how far they are from completely going off the ledge and doing something completely crazy. I understand, that maybe you're the type of person that's never let a slight go by, and maybe you're the type of person that who knows, maybe you're a capable person and you're not going to let somebody get away with something. You need to throw all of that stuff away, especially when your children are in the vehicle. If you are on the road and you have your children in the vehicle, they're your number one responsibility. So, yeah, sure. I'm sure that maybe he tried to pull over and take down the license plate and do the right thing in some way. But, maybe sometimes it's better if you just go on about your business. Something happens, just let it flow off of you. Go about your business, because the people you are in charge of the people that are with you, not in charge. You're responsible for the people that are with you, and you're responsible for their safety. And you need to take that into consideration before you start flying off the handle, or before you do something crazy that puts their health in jeopardy. And that's really the point that I wanted to make from this story, because it's important for all of us to know. Now, moving on to my tech tip. All right. What is the best time to buy a new phone? I've been asked this question probably in the past 2 weeks, maybe 10 times. And it's actually a really good question, because you never know when is the best time. When are the sales the best? Phones, generally Samsung releases phones at the beginning of the year. There are some phones that get released in the middle of the year, and then Apple does their big event in October for the iPhone, and then Google does one right afterwards in the fall. So here are the prices of some of the phones that have come out this year. You've got the brand new iPhone 11 Pro. It starts off at $999. That's for the 5.8 inch model. The larger model, that is the 6.5 inch, that's $100 more. So the iPhone 11, which is like a lower version, doesn't have all of the bells and whistles as the iPhone Pro. That starts off at $799. I believe the biggest difference on it are the cameras, and there's like a couple other small features that it's meant to be the budget version new iPhone that's being released this year, so those people aren't left in the dark. See, back in the day, Steve Jobs, if you don't know who Steve Jobs is, he was the CEO of Apple. He believed that the product line for Apple should be streamlined. Either you can afford it or you can't, but they're going to put out the best product that they can. And after he died, I feel that the quality control kind of went out the window, and now they just have a slew of products that that they believe is for everybody. So the iPhone Pro is that's like their premium model, and the iPhone 11 is a lower version of their iPhone line, and that's $799. The Pixel 4 and Pixel 4 XL starts at $799. The XL goes up to $899, and they also go up by $100 per storage that you choose. So it starts off at 128 gigs, and I think it tops out at 512 or 256. So Samsung has the S10, S10e that is $749, which is their budget version of their S10 model. The S10 model is $899, and the S10 Plus, which is the larger screen version, at $999. The Note 10, which is just they have two screen sizes, starts off at $1099, and then the plus size version comes in at $1199. Starting out at their base model. If you want to buy one of last year's models, I believe the Pixel 3a, it's not last year's model, but it came out this year, but it is part of last year's Google product line. I think that's going for about $350 right now. The iPhone XR is going for $599, and the iPhone 8 is going for $449. I don't believe you can find the S9 or S9 Plus anywhere, or Note 9 anywhere right now. I didn't see any online. So when is the best time to buy one of these phones? I have found that the best time to buy one of these phones is between the beginning of November and through the Christmas season. There is a big, there's usually a sale right before Black Friday in November, and I found that there are some really good deals at Sam's Club, Target. They're doing them everywhere. But what I have found is that the carriers aren't doing these sales. So your best bet on where to buy a phone would be from Sam's or Target or a place like that sells them, because most of them are doing deals. Costco's doing them as well. When I bought my Note 8 2 years ago, I bought it at Sam's Club, and they gave me a $300 gift card for each line that I upgraded. So I have two lines, one for me and one for my wife. So I bought both of them, and I got $600 in gift cards. And you can use that for when you buy the first one, you can use that gift card for the purchase on the principal of your next phone, or you can keep both of them and just use them for groceries or what have you. So $600 worth of groceries, that's actually a pretty decent deal. And last year, that was 2 years ago, and last year they had the same deal. It was for $300 gift card for each at Sam's Club. Costco had the same one, and Target had one for $350 gift card per line that you upgraded. So that comes out to $700 in gift cards if you upgrade two lines. And I think that it really, makes it able to stomach some of these prices for these phones if you get so much in return from where you're buying them from. And like I said, I didn't see anything from the carriers. So the best time to do it, a little bit before Black Friday, they have deals. On Black Friday, they have these deals. And last year they extended them, so it wasn't just only on Black Friday. I think it went for a couple weeks afterwards. And they also had deals running up until Christmas. So that is the deal on the best time to buy a new phone. So keep an eye out. We're it's middle of October, getting to the end of October, approaching the end of October, and start looking out for sales if you're in the market for a new phone. So thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. I appreciate the support. I appreciate everyone listening and watching on YouTube. It's I'm very appreciative, and take it easy. This is Pre out.